The perception of China from the rest of the world is often a mixed bag of stereotypes. Full of culture and amazing food, but also loud, dirty, overcrowded, known for cheap knockoff products and communism? I was open to experience this ancient country that I've never been to in its full glory for the first time. But we also flew into Shanghai, which looks like this. And I am somebody who was fascinated by skyscrapers since I was a wee boy. Combined with my love for Asian culture and good food, Deana and me were in for a crazy ride. These are my first impressions of China.
Alright, we just got off the plane. This is Phil's first time in China. We'll see how long immigration takes because we got questioned a lot on the flight trying to come here. It's complicated when you're married with two different passports. We made it through. Phil with his stronger German passport had no problem. Me with my dumb American one had a little bit of security stuff. It is so late right now. Well, it's like midnight. And he had the smoothest immigration process ever. We're lined up side by side. He looks over, I look over, he's already through. Then they're questioning me. They're telling me that I need to fill out another card that was the exact same information as this other card. We're here on the 144-hour transit visa. Phil doesn't need that though.
I don't know why she was taken aside and they had to pull multiple people and in the end it's okay. But here, basically 118 hours, just below 5 days.
Yeah.
I don't know if they all had issues calculating that, but yeah. Shanghai has 26 million people. We're driving in here 11 p.m. There's nobody on the street.
Yeah,
it's a dead city.
We
what the
had
hell?
to take a taxi because the metro stops at 10:30. But yeah, this is our hotel room. It's not bad. We always often get twin beds so we can have two blankets because trying to explain to other countries that we need two blankets never works. But that's like pretty normal in Germany and we're used to it now. We got cozy in the Love Hotel in Japan. We don't need to sleep together. Here's the full-length mirror. What's up? And a bathroom, which looks pretty nice. Looks very newish for a bathroom. Not too shabby.
Don't know where we are, man. This feels like a medium-sized German town at night. Nobody out. But then there's only electric vehicles here. It's a weird mindfuck.
We had to get some food because we didn't have dinner. So we went to this place and you had your first meal. What'd you think? She had some...
The eggplant is awesome, always.
Yeah.
It's Chinese stir-fried eggplant.
I love it.
And beef with...
peppers. Just like thinly sliced stir-fried beef. It was a pretty oily meal, I'm not gonna lie. But good. I don't know, I was pretty satisfied. Also, like, the hammered guys of 4 drinking and smoking next to us.
Yeah.
Of course, there was no English on the menu. And I was just like, I can't read very well, so I just had to ask him, like... Do you have eggplant?
Yeah, definitely louder than Japan.
Yeah, of course, yeah. But it makes it a little more enjoyable for food, right?
It's weekday and we're just heading out from a hotel in this like East Nanjing area. We're probably heading straight to the Bund, and I'm so curious, man. My very first impression last night was crazy, so I'm curious how it is now. So far, definitely a little livelier.
Yes.
Right, Nanjing Road East, one of the pedestrian centers of the city. And dude.
How about that?
Oh, we're honking again. Okay. East Nanjing Road, the biggest pedestrian street in Shanghai. And we came here last night quickly. It's right where we live, where we stay. And now it's definitely busier. It's about 11 a.m., almost noon, and it feels really like a standard, not a standard, but like a pedestrian street. There's a lot of shops here, big buildings, and I can already, oh, they have this cool clock up there showing the time digitally, but it looks like an old one, like a retro digital clock. And I can already see like the Bund a little bit from here. I think it opens up at the end of the street over there. And I'm really into buildings and skyscrapers, so I have a half stiffy right now.
We're gonna go up one of them, and I'm trying to decide which one. I was like the Pearl Tower, the Jingmao Tower, the Financial Tower.
The Shanghai Tower is one of my favorite buildings. There's a roof a roofing video on YouTube that I watched probably 100 times, where people went up there and on the construction crane before that thing was finished. And I just saw it peeking through the clouds, dude. I'm like a little giddy.
Oh, you have to try one of these over here. That's the candy I grew up with.
Dude, you just walk down here and the view opens straight up to the Pearl Tower. And it's so close. I thought the river would be wider and it would be further over. Holy shit, man. This looks like an alien city right in front of us. Damn, it's opening up and it's in the clouds. Oh shit. Dude, the Pearl Tower looks so epic. It looks like a freaking alien ship. Like an alien rocket landed here. And then right there is the triple buildings. See up in the clouds. Oh, that's opening.
Oh, dude, they're all so good.
Dude, it looks so epic right now. The clouds are so low.
I studied abroad here in college, and I'm giving away my age. It's been like 10 years since I've been here pretty much, and it's wild how much it's changed and grown, and how like tech advanced it has become. Like every bike is e-bike, all the scooters, and it's so quiet at night. I didn't even know bikes were coming out.
And buses and delivery trucks are electric. That's the weirdest mindfuck.
It's just a very different type of culture shock here after being here 10 years ago.
When people sneeze here, they yell at the same time. I don't know why that's a thing, but you don't go, you go, hacha! I think the Pearl Tower is the best thing they built now that I see it, because it's not just the shape is awesome, but the color contrast is also pretty cool. It's a little gloomy today, but I think it makes it look a little more epic with the clouds being that low. But I think we come back definitely in the evening once and look at it with the lights on. That's awesome. But we'll probably head into the city a little bit more now and get some food.
The Bund is amazing, and we will come back at night and also go up into the clouds in our next video. But for now, before we try some food, I want to point out what immediately stood out the most. See, I expected crazy noisy traffic in China, but instead the traffic sounds like this.
Like none of these scooters has an engine.
It's a whisper wonderland. How crazy is that?
Now for comparison, this is what traffic sounds like in Thailand. And here is India. Back to Shanghai.
Just listen to the volume.
This is absolutely amazing, and it feels like a glimpse into the future, into a direction where cities should be heading, because once you hear it or don't hear it, you realize how big of a problem noise pollution in most cities actually is. Every scooter here is electric, and a big percentage of the cars are too. And experiencing this stage of development made me realize that China is not as far behind the Western world as people like to make it out, but in some regards it feels decades ahead. But now it's food time.
First time Chinese food in China. I'm starting with this huge dumpling. One thing that China is obviously known for is dumplings in all kinds of forms and shapes and sizes. And this is one that I'm not really familiar with. This is a soup dumpling. Let me read that. It's the signature Du Huang soup dumpling. It comes with a straw.
You gotta suck it.
You're gonna poke it like a boba. Wow, look at
You
that.
gotta suck it in. Go, 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 go.
Okay, what? Go, go, go. It's not running away.
Kinda is coming out.
Ooh, it's a very nice chicken soup. Like there's chicken shreds in there, and it's like very brothy. Very nice. It's definitely a very good soup, and I wonder if the dumpling is nice too. Let me just open this up.
No, you're supposed to drink that.
How do I do that?
Don't put your chopsticks like that, please.
How am I getting a chunk of the dumpling though? You just eat that at the end, I
At
guess.
the end?
Yeah.
What are you doing? No, no, no.
That is the style of dumpling that I like. Thick, round, with these divots in there.
So he keeps saying that. I think he doesn't like the jiaozi, the thinner versions, but he's also not a big fan of the baozi. Like when he wants dumplings, he always likes these. It's like slightly thicker dough.
It's a little stressful to order here. There's mostly just menus or writings on the walls, and my reading Chinese is not good. I'm pretty much just like, 我们要这个, 我们要这个. And I'm just pointing to it, and I'm like, 有没有茄子? I would like this, I would like this. And I'm like, do you have eggplant? Like, do you have beef? So we ended up getting these wontons. These are shrimp wontons. It's more of a soup thing, as you can see here. There's 10 pieces in here for around like 28 kwai.
They're pretty fat.
They're all fresh made there. They have the window there that you can see her rolling and making different dumplings. But you can see the chunks of shrimp in here. I'll open one up for you, but it's pretty good.
I really like the dough, the wrapper. My first dumpling experience here is really good in that regard.
This one is very crab flesh flavory.
There's always a wonton soup at the Chinese places, and it's always a very smaller wrapper with a little meatball inside. They're so slippery, man. It's so hard to get. I'm usually a master with the chopsticks. Maybe I'm not.
By the end of this trip, I'm gonna make him order in Chinese, so I don't have to.
The highlight here were these spicy pork noodles. Look how glistening with oil they are. Almost looking like spaghetti, but with nice chunks of pork, chili and garlic. Oh my god.
Here we go. First Chinese noodles. Oh, steaming. Wow. Everything's so slippery here. This is oily. Dude, it's really nice. It weirdly, and I don't know if I can say that here, it reminds me of a bolognese, spaghetti bolognese. It's tomatoey and the sauce is really oily. If you put some Parmesan on this, it would be the bomb. Really nice noodles. This is really hearty. This is a heavy bowl. This is just satisfying. This is super nice. And the garlic with the chili.
Oh, I smell it now that you're switching that around. That smells good. Like Phil said, just slips into your mouth and so much garlic. I love it.
So a couple of things that you need to get used to here is so far no napkins on the table. It's a little hard to find them.
You always bring your own napkins.
There's also, haven't seen any toilets yet in the restaurants, or it's not that obvious. Toilets, hand washing, couldn't wash my hands beforehand. It's definitely noisier than Japan. Gotta get used to that again. And one big thing is the bodily functions. You hear it every now and then. Even in restaurants, people just getting rid of stuff, you know? And I gotta get used to that. But then again, if you slurp a bit, not a big deal.
People slurp all the time in Japan.
Japan was a slurping country too. Check out the bottom of the bowl. Very oily. The oil becomes one with the food. Garlic chunks of these sizes. So one thing I also noticed immediately, and I don't know if this is exclusive to this walking pedestrian street, is there's a big amount of police presence. They have little booths everywhere. There are so many guards and policemen standing around, and there's a lot of cars patrolling too. Like we were out yesterday for half an hour and I saw like 8 police cars going around in a city of empty streets. I'm curious if that's normal.
These tiny scooters here are actually police scooters. 3 of them. There's a bigger one. I think this is a police station. But how cool is that? They're so small, so maneuverable for like the pedestrian zones with their little light back there.
And the bike and scooter parking right here on the side.
Yeah, it makes sense. So cool. Dude, this is the firefighter version of it. They have fire extinguishers on the back of it. How cool is that?
So we've been approached like 4 or 5 times where people say, watch back. And I thought they're telling me, hey, watch your bags because there could be pickpocketing here or something.
They're going to bring you to a back room and sell really good fakes.
They say watches and bags and stuff. Oh,
but they're just very subtle about it here because they come up with it a little casually.
Watch bags?
And they're not pressuring. They just ask you and then you're like, nah.
Dude, my life dream, one time in my life to own a Gucci bag.
That is not
with
your
the strap. That is my life goal. It would mean everything to me, fulfill me. And dude, I'm surprised. We just came from Japan and look at that. There's big anime stores here in the street. Dude, look at that screen.
And coming from China, we have more weight in our suitcases so I can finally get a plushie.
Japanese anime stores, Five Guys, German-looking architecture and bars. Also a lot of modern stores with souvenirs and more, as well as very luscious green parks in the middle of the city. I am not sure what I expected, but this is just a super modern mega city. And by the way, we barely have sponsors in our videos, so big thank you to everybody who supports us on patreon.com/Deana and Phil, especially our soulmate level Patreons Laura and Jared, Roger Lübke, Robin and Parker Dobke.
Guys, I don't know what kind of shape you're seeing, but I see something very specific there.
To be honest, there were so many impressions and emotions it is hard to describe. A lot of people have concerns about China or are even afraid of the country, and honestly, I was also wondering if some of that is true. But now being here made me realize how silly most of these concerns are.
This looks pretty cool. Look at the Redison in the back. It looks like a UFO landed on there. Very different size of buildings here, architecture.
We also met up with Deana's uncle who was here on business, and we went to a nicer restaurant where we had some awesome food. This pork and eggplant dish is now my all-time favorite Chinese food. Cabbage is common in the local cuisine and a welcomed sight for us, and this deep-fried battered fish was also very amazing.
Check out my little bowl. Doesn't that look yummy? With the rice on the bottom, then the eggplant with the sauce, some greens in there, mix it up. Very uncommon for me is the way to eat out of these tiny bowls. I spill a lot on the table, but it's kind of fun. And also this style of Chinese restaurant, if you don't go to like a small imbiss kind of thing, a lot of the restaurants look like this, like halls, and then these round tables and tablecloth.
And they give you one menu and one person orders.
One person orders for the whole table usually, family style. And some of these tables have even these rotating plates in the center, which I also like, but you don't get that with two people.
So of course you have your rice here. I like how Phil says we now. He's been to China once and he's now his favorite Chinese dish is the eggplant too.
Well, we're also married for 5 years, so you become a we.
Yeah, after marriage you become a we. Look at that. Sometimes I'll add some cabbage in there, but we'll just go for the eggplant only. But whenever people ask me what your favorite dish in the world is, I always come back to this one, but it's so hard because I love food of all cuisine, right? But this is so good. Dude, 10 out of 10 finishing up our food, and Phil has completely abandoned his little bowl.
Yes.
He's just eating out of the serving plate now.
It's the European way.
Let's see here, just eat out of the serving one.
So if you don't want anything to be left over, because it doesn't add up ratio-wise, just put it all together.
There's his massive portion.
Massive, please.
I'm gonna finish up my bowl.
So first food impressions were overall just awesome. And after sunset, this has to be one of the coolest looking cities ever.
Perfect.
What can I say? My first impression of China is mind-blowing.